All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Alahym in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was testified me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All praises be to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, big time, man. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Pick it up as Isaiah 28, verse 23. Shalom. You know what I mean? And we'll get it popping and go from there. Give you ear. This is Isaiah 28, 23. Shalom, Christina. Give you ear and hear my voice. Hearken and hear my speech. Do the plowman plow all day to sow? Do he open and break the clods of his ground? When he have made plain the face thereof, do he not cast abroad the fitches and scatter the cumin? Shalom, man. And cast in the principal wheat and the appointed barley and rye in their place. For his Alahym do instruct him to discretion and do teach him. For the fitches are not threshed with a threshing instrument, neither is the cartwheel turned about upon the cumin, but the fitches are beaten out with a staff and the cumin with a rod. Bread is bruised, because he will not ever be threshing it, nor break it the wheel of his cart, nor bruise it his horsemen. This also comes from Yahuwah of hosts. It's wonderful in counsel, excellent in working. So, of course, you know, this is a continuation of our deliberation on Isaiah 28 and 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Weaned from the milk, drawn from the breast. Shalom, Brother Ellis. You know what I'm talking about? So y'all go and get them lights up. You know, and in doctrine is what? I mean, who does he give understanding to? Understand, or a doctrine, excuse me, translates to what? Good news. See, there's a lot of things said about the word. A lot of people don't really be knowing what they be talking about. Shalom, man. You know, we concluded on Wednesday dealing with what he talking about instruct, which is chastisement. See, this is one of the reasons why we like to look at the word so you can see what it actually means. And by this time, most of you know, when you see instruct in the book, it ain't talking about regular instruction. Let me not even say regular instruction. Let me say you're, for lack of a better term, a westernized concept of instruction. Because Yahuwah does not instruct like man instructs. And see, I think that's where people get the game twisted. Yahuwah instructs through chastisement and rebuke. That is how he instructs. He instructs through the imparting of discipline. He does not instruct. See, we look at instruction as imparting information. See, you can't gain wisdom without the correction. You can't gain understanding without the correction. You can't get the knowledge without the correction. That's why anybody who say they got an understanding of the gospel and have not experienced those things are a liar. That's why anybody who says that they possess wisdom and understanding of Yahuwah and has not experienced those things is a liar. And how do we know if they haven't experienced those things? Because they detest, reject, and are appalled at the hint of correction, rebuke, and discipline of any sort. You know what I'm saying? I told you for years, you have to be careful and wary of free-willing men who move on a whim, men who are whimsical in thinking, men who don't like structure, things to be free-flowing. Those men are not of Alahym. Yahuwah does not operate in such a fashion, and that is not a way to raise any children. Yahuwah does not raise his children in such a fashion. That's a westernized, let me not even say westernized, that's a satanic way of thinking. You know what I'm talking about? That's a satanic because it's adversarial to the will of Yahuwah. Always understand that when you're talking about Satan, you're talking about an adversary. So you're talking about something that is in opposition of righteousness. That's how you need to begin to look at Satan. Not some type of demon who's coming to do this, that, there, and the third. He is in direct opposition of anything that is just, exact, and right in the eyesight of Yahuwah. Anything that is contrary to the will of Yahuwah, this is what he is with. This is why when you read 1 Corinthians 14, and Paul lets you know that your Alahym is not the author of confusion. If you recall, confusion in the Greek translate to disorder. Yahuwah does not operate in an environment of disorder. He does not do it. And every single one of us as a man should no longer be comfortable if we say we are servants and sons of the living Alahym, comfortable in any situation that has confusion, chaos, and disorder. We can no longer say that we are servants of Alahym and take a liking or a desiring or comfortability in existing in such a situation. It is not conducive to salvation. It is not conducive to instruction. That's the purpose of the instruction. See, Satan thrives in disorderly environments because when you are in a disorderly environment, this is what allows him to be able to whisper, allow him to be the prince of the power of the air. And the way he can reap all manner of confusion that he can reap. That's why, let me even say confusion, where he can reap deceit. Deceit only can thrive in a disorderly environment. Deceit cannot thrive in an orderly environment because it will stick out. See, this is important because we're talking about the discipline and instruction. It clearly states in verse 26 that this man says his Alahym does correct him to judgment. You understand? And then he does instruct him. Shalom, man. This is very, very important. This ain't just something that we're looking at, because when we continue to go through all this here, you see that he says that he is wonderful in counsel and excellent in working, and the work is to disannul your covenant with death. You understand? See, death in and of itself is a state of confusion. When we talk about state of confusion, a state of disorder, because that is not the order and structure of Alahym, because Alahym lives forever. Let's look at Deuteronomy 32, just so you can see that Yahuwah say he lived forever. Deuteronomy 32 and 33 probably. 39 is in my mind, but I know I'm not probably going to want to jump straight down to 39. Do it 133. 35 is better. Go ahead and get them lights up on top of that. Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me, vengeance and recompense. Vengeance and payback belongs to Yahuwah. That's why I've been telling y'all that for years. A lot of people don't like to hear that out of the text, but at the end of the day, all requirement and repayments and execution of vengeance belongs to Yahuwah. It don't belong to you. You can't pay these people back because they ain't sinned against you. Before they could sin against you, they had to sin against him. We have to keep that in mind. I know everybody like to feel like, Israel is special. We special. You're not special because you're an Israelite. You're special because you trust and are faithful to the words of the living Alahym. That would make you special. You know what I'm talking about? We talked about that when we were talking about Ishmael and Isaac. Both of them were Abraham's son, but only Isaac was special. Ishmael wasn't. Not in the eyesight of Yahuwah. And he was Abraham flesh and blood. And he was not special to Yahuwah. You're not special by reason of existing. That's what leads to an entitled behavior, an entitled mentality and mindset. You feel like you should get it because you show up. Absolutely not. That's why you get what you earn. Now, you don't earn salvation by reason of keeping his commandments. You earn the salvation by actually having the righteous obedience of faith. See, your belief is what gets you the salvation. You don't get the salvation because you sold up on a Shabbat, because you kept a feast day. Now you feel like this man owe you something, that I should get it because I'm here. Absolutely not. And why did I say this here? That's why he tries the heart and the reins to see if you can work for what you earn or what he gonna give you. You know what I'm talking about? All this ties into the concept of what you do with a woman. You don't give her anything. You give her what she earns. You have to try her hard to see that she down with you and your cause. Cleaning me. I literally heard a woman say a woman cooking and cleaning and giving a man sex makes his life easier. I say that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. You cooking for me don't make my life easier. How does that make my life easier? I can have somebody, I can pay somebody to make my meals. And if I was a top-notch person, chef, then I definitely don't need you. I don't need you to clean. I can pay somebody to do that. That don't make my life easy. I can pay them and they can leave. I ain't even got to deal with them. Vagina, you can get vagina from anywhere. That doesn't make my life easier. How do you benefit my life? You don't benefit my life from doing that. I'm using that as an example of that's how you will look at somebody and say, but I keep your commandments. How that benefit him? How you fulfill his will? You supposed to did that. That's standard. Cooking and cleaning. Giving sex to your husband is standard. That ain't nothing special. That ain't nothing to clap up and down about like you did something. You haven't done anything. He said, man, you keeping this man. He said, what is the whole duty of man? To keep his commandments. Keeping this man commandments is akin to a woman cooking and cleaning, man. It's the same thing. You haven't done anything special. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. But that man say he tried the heart and the reins to give every man according to his work shall be. So that means I'm going to try and test you to prove that you are who you say you are. And most men don't do that to their woman. They don't put her in a position to see what are you going to do to benefit the fulfillment of my will. You just give her stuff because she exists. You's a fool if you ever seen such a thing. Because you're not giving the person the opportunity to appreciate what the benefit that they are receiving from you. See, when you've been tried by Yahuwah, and see, that's what we get into. I'm just trying to set you up for the next movement. I'm just not talking for the sake of talking. This man say that he chastises you. And he say when you get tried by the peaceable fruits of righteousness or exercised by them, then you can be able to understand and receive the peaceable fruits of righteousness of those who have exercised thereby. There's going to be a benefit that you are going to appreciate. Because this man has taken you through something. Understand it said Mashiach learned obedience from the things that he suffered. So there was something that he learned through this and trying him. Proving what was in his heart. And that's how he became to be the captain of salvation to everyone that believes on his name. He didn't even give his son something for showing up. He made him earn it. He proved him to say, okay, I can make you the son of Alahym again. I can give you rulership that you already had. He made him earn it. He just didn't give it to him. He said, Abba, I finished the work that you gave me to do. See, that's a whole different type of conversation. Again, Yahuwah does not instruct like men instruct. You know what I'm saying? I ain't told y'all that in a long time. You'd have to go back deep in the archives for that conversation. But Yahuwah does not teach like men teach. Yahuwah teaches by correction and admonishment and rebuke. Because this is what allows you to see what order is. You didn't know what order was until the man came and checked you. That's why the lead off of the gospel is to repent and to turn, because you need to be corrected. Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me, vengeance and recompense, their foot shall slide in time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For Yahuwah shall judge his people and repent himself for his service when he see that their power is gone, none shut up and left. I told y'all this before. You can listen to these brews, talk all that talk. We need to do this and do this so we can leave here. Man, you're not leaving here till this man bust you down and break you down to your last common denominator. That's when you're going to leave here. That's why this man going to go to war with the saints. That's why he going to persecute the righteous. Well, you're going to go through pure and unadulterated hell before this man come back and deliver you. Just let that be known. And ain't shalom, brother. And it ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You understand me? And you can let these niggas tell you whatever you want them to tell you. And I'm telling you to your face right now, they lying to you. Because this is not what this man told you is going to happen. That man said there'll be a time of trouble since ain't never been since the time the world was. Mashiach say if it were possible, no flesh would be saved. If it wasn't for the elect's sake. Shalom, brother Shaul. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he said. That man said that man gonna go to war with the saints and overcome them. That's what he said. You understand me? You got to have it resolute in your heart. If you ready to die for this here, are you preparing your son for that day? Or you thinking you finna live it up and keep on going like you've been going? And then when it's time for him to stand, he gonna fall because his daddy didn't prepare him for battle. It's a war out here. I done told you this before. It's a war out here for souls. It's not a game. This man is walking up through the earth like a roaring lion, seeking to whom he may devour. It's a war for souls out here. Are you prepared for battle? Do you got your helmet on? Do you got your breastplate on? Do you got your sword in your hand? Do you got your shield in the other one? It's a war for souls out here. Are you preparing your son for battle? Man, Psalms 144, man. Let me go ahead and do this here, man. I thank the Lord, man. It's real deal out here, man. It's a war for souls out here. This man ain't faking and pump faking. This man wants your life. You understand me? Ain't nothing coming to get him. Ain't nothing coming to get him but a jail cell. Jail cell of death. Psalms 144 and 1. That's all the beast got for him. Sucks for you, buddy. Man, we can't be like these people walking around here thinking this all manner of wickedness in this place gonna keep on going, and you planning for your children to have a life in a place of ungodliness. You're supposed to be making sure their souls prepared for their departure. Have you forgotten that you are a stranger and a pilgrim on the earth, and in such making the confession, you declare that you desire a city, a heavenly city, where your Alahym is not ashamed to be called your Alahym? Have you forgotten? I praise the Lord. Psalms 144 and 1. Bless Yahuwah my strength, which teach my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Let's take a look at it. Let's just take a look at it, right? Because remember, he said he does instruct him and teach him to discretion, that he instructs him to discretion, right? And do teach him. That's what it said, right? Isaiah 28 and 26, y'all remember? So, you know, when you got teach, you got lamad, you got yad, and when you got war, of course, we got karab, and that's battle, a hostile encounter. Now, hold on, right? Come over here to Corinthians. I think it's 2 Corinthians 5. 2 Corinthians 5 is what I want. 2 Corinthians 10, actually. 2 Corinthians 10 and 1. Because we ain't talking about fighting nobody literally. He just told you that vengeance belonged to him. Recompense belonged to him. Daniel told you that Yahushua would take down the beast without hand. Joel told you that he would be the strength and hope for his people. You ain't gonna have to lift up no hand to take these people down. What type of husband you think you got? What type of husband will make his wife fight with him? Tell her, I need your help to battle. Need your help. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Man, that's how I see dudes when they be sitting up there with their wife reading for them. You need your wife to go to battle with you, my G? Need your wife to help you preach? I don't need no woman to help me fight, nigga. I'm a whole man out here. You better sit down somewhere. I don't need your help. I don't need your assistance. It's no disrespect. Stay in a woman's place, and the battlefield ain't your place. You ain't fit for that. You ain't fit for that. Let me tell you something, man. You ain't seen nothing until you seen a body leaking blood. You know what I'm talking about? That's a different sight. You ain't seen nothing until you seen somebody's spirit be rattled and you see the wickedness coming up out of them. When that sword go to cutting through their soul. Woman ain't fit for that. That's a different place of location. You know what I'm talking about? 2 Corinthians 10 and 1. They done charged that nigga with 3 murders, boy. That's ugly. Now, I, Paul, myself beseech you by meekness and gentleness of Mashiach, who in presence base among you, but in being absent and bold towards you. See, that's a whole nother deal dealing with Mashiach, because when he was in our presence, he was humble, he was meek. But upon his departure, of course, he bold. Bold in meek and confidence. Remember, the righteous are bold as a lion. Remember that? That bold is batak. That's the confidence and the trust in the word. You understand? But I beseech that I may not be bold when I am present with that, or if I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Alahym to the pulling down of strongholds. Now, you notice he said our weapons. They are not carnal. You know, you got a lot of bruises. He say, take up your sword, and if you ain't got one, buy one now. And you could do all that, my G, and you still gonna die, cuz. I know you got to feel like you tough. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna go out like no hoe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go out like no coochie nigga. I understand. You want to prove you tough. You know what I'm talking about? But you better remember what that man wrote in Hebrews. It was men who turned down deliverance. They may obtain a better resurrection. See, some men know they going to hell upon awakening. That's why they're trying to stay alive as long as they possibly can, because they know there's no hope for them at the resurrection. See, we ain't talking about that pie in the sky when you go to heaven. Nah, nigga, we talking about, yeah, man, books open, standing before the hoary head. You understand? Book of life open. Your name ain't in it. You ain't in the genealogy of heaven and earth. You understand? You don't exist in it. Let me not even say heaven and earth, just the genealogy of heaven, because that's all that's talking about in Genesis 2 when he said it's the genealogy of heaven. Everybody who was written in heaven, birth of the born, of the living, of the son of the living Alahym. If your name written in the earth, boy, you going to hell, boy. You ain't a God if your name written in the earth. That mean what I'm talking about? I mean, you of Satan. See, again, we talking about Karab, this hostile encounter, right? I didn't give you those characters. This is right before my fake. That's why I mentioned it. You got Kuf, Rosh, and Ba. So you understand that the light of Alahym is the sun. The sun is the light of the highest. This is how you're going to be able to give battle. How can we sit back and we look at this hostile encounter? Because there's a hostile encounter between light and darkness. Let's take a look at that in John chapter 3, verse 17. All right, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. John chapter 3. Shoot, man, you can make it verse 14 on general principle. Yeah, you are correct, sir. Many people are not prepared. And the reason why they're not prepared is because they don't have any idea what's going to happen. They'll understand that they're going to continually, let me tell you something, man. And I've been telling y'all this for a long time. These people have continuously, wantonly seek to turn you against God. That's all they care about. That's all they want to do. You know what I'm talking about? It's been a war from souls since the day that Adam and Eve were formed and went stood against that serpent in that garden. And it gets worse and worse every day. Worse and worse every day. People don't have a genuine love and care for you. So I done told y'all this before, right? Especially that the children getting older. They going out there and they mixing and mingling with sinners. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that not only that they mixing and mingling with sinners, but also with the things that they consume as far as content-wise, whatever that may be, on top of the fact that they mixing and mingling with sinners, that they have to have a strong, resolute, unbreakable, unwavering, unshakable foundation of Alahym, or when they get older, they will depart from him, and don't be shocked when it happens. You know what I'm talking about? And I told y'all this in the past. They will do it. Because that pull of the world is something else. See, you done had your experience in the world. They have not. So in their mind, they might literally believe that they're going to be missing something. I'm talking about you have to drill in the faith of Alahym and they heart strong. Not just what we don't do. Not just who we are. You know what I'm saying? That man got to be in their heart. Then the pull of the world won't have no effect. You know what I'm talking about? It won't have no effect. But we got to make sure that the world ain't got no effect on us. That you trying to make sure that you're not trying to desire and to frolic and move around with what these people got going on. Because you ain't supposed to envy sinners. You know what I'm talking about? And nothing they got and nothing that they do. Because these people ain't got no hope. They're going to perish. Understand in Job, he said, what is the hope of the hypocrite? Who can tell me what hypocrite meant in Hebrew? Go ahead and put it in the comments if you remember what hypocrite meant in Hebrew. Who can recall? Who can tell me what hypocrite meant in Hebrew? So, of course, you know, I was a little older when I came in the word than most of y'all. So I already knew, ain't nothing out here, man. Nigga ain't missing nothing. Nothing out here that a nigga want to experience. Oh, I could believe it, my G. He say, man, he dealing with it now with his sons. You know what I'm saying? For all the world is, and you know what? And that's right, godless, unfaithful. That's what a hypocrite is. That's somebody who ain't faithful to God. Let me tell you something, man. The ability to, because look here, right? What it was I was listening to, man. Oh, that was that nigga BOA said this here, right? Then I seen this thread. These people talking about bring back arranged marriages and this, that, there, and the third. And let me tell you something, man. He was just talking about, see, BOA was talking about cultural differences. This Sunday, I told somebody when the Brittany Griner chick first got locked up, it's just weed. You live so free in America doing what you want to do when you want to do it, that the concept that the rest of the world don't live like that is shocking. Because a person who live in America, you think you can go anywhere in the world and live any way you want to live and do anything you want to do, because that's what you do over here. And that pull of the world with your children, that's what they get from the music, that's what they get from the TV, that's what they get from the movies, and that's what they get from them center churn that they're going to be around. And you telling them they can't do what they want to do. Do you understand the appeal of quote unquote freedom is going to be greater than restriction? This is why Yahuwah instructs with discipline. That's why he instructs that way. Because you got to have the ability of self-control early so that that discipline will remain to where that pull for what looks like freedom won't pull on them because they'll see it for what it is. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to tell you, man, that's why he teach that way. He has to teach that way. And you've seen that from the time he brought you up out of Egypt, except he didn't do it to you. He did it to the Egyptians so that you would see that and reverence him for the discipline and correction that he put upon them. But we didn't appreciate it. So then when he took them into the wilderness, he did it again. And they didn't appreciate it. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, yeah, and that pride comes from you could do whatever you want over here. You can do whatever you want. And understand something, most of us know, most of us ain't been outside the country like that, or most of us are not familiar with people of other cultures to understand everybody don't live like this. It ain't just America, it's the whole world. See, I don't like to just focus on America. Because the whole world is in wickedness. It ain't just America. But I understand for us because we live here. You know what I'm talking about? So this is what we getting an experience from. The people in the Middle East just as wicked. The people in the Far East just as wicked. The people in Africa just as wicked. They just hide it better. You understand? But those people don't have the freedom. Like literally in America, if you are a boy and want to be a girl, you can do that. You can do that. We literally just seen. Absolutely they do, because they still gonna stick to their culture. They don't want their kids to fit in. Especially with niggas. Niggas always want to fit in. Whether it's clothing or stuff. Man, I told you the other day, man, this nigga said, man, hip-hop culture, that's black culture, nigga, that's a shame. That's a shame. You know what I'm talking about? Look here, man, if you still like to listen to some good hip hop, I understand, but you shouldn't identify with it and say you were serving a God, because at that point, if we identifying with it, then we rejoicing in iniquity. We can't do that, man. We can't identify with something that's contrary to our Father. Can't identify with that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't identify with none of that. Yeah, I lived it, some of that stuff these niggas talking about. I don't identify with what these niggas talking about. Man, it's not a majority of artists, man. I don't even know who these niggas are. Don't care to know who they are. Don't even care to research or know about new music and new artists. I don't give a damn. It's just not important enough. It's not an important enough desire for me. I don't want to know who these niggas are. Just don't. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't have that great of a desire, man. It's not that serious. It's not that serious, man. Because these niggas going to hell. And they leading the whole and I'm talking about hell, I'm talking about the grave. They going to die. And they leading a whole bunch of people to death with them. We got to make sure that they don't lead us down the road. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I be seeing niggas on my page, they be talking about Erykah Badu all the time. This whole a witch. Nigga, bump that hoe. Nigga, I spit in that whole face. You know what I'm talking about? This hoe is a literal practicing witch. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I knew that hoe was a witch back in the day, and I just ain't know that that's what you would call it. Because this hoe has some weird music, man. Like, what's up with this hoe, man? I can't listen to this hoe. Something about this whole music don't strike me right. I remember niggas saying something like, especially like whatever drink that liquor is, puffy sell. Niggas say, boy, if you drink that doggone liquor, puffy sell. Niggas say, boy, your wrist gonna turn limp. I said, well, this nigga here crazy. But I understood what he meant. Man, we have to pay attention to this stuff around us, man. It's a pull on the soul, man. And they after the churn, man. You know what I'm talking about? They after the churn, man. Because they already look like it like this here. If I can't get you, that's fine. But I'll get the child. Only need one. Only need one. Y'all will find out. These children getting older. You gonna see. You got each giving you witness. He telling you now. He been in the word longer than most of y'all. It's dead serious. It's not no game. You know what I'm saying? That junk be all cute when they little. But now the nigga go be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. When that puberty come, them hormones switch. You know what I'm talking about? Perspectives change. And now they begin to look at, I'm finna be an adult. What is they gonna hold on to? When things occur in life, what is they gonna hold on to? I mean, you got a lot of teenage kids out here killing themselves. I ain't just saying that because my cousin did it. Well, you got a lot of them out here doing it. Them children ain't got nothing to hold on to. You got to make sure yours do. Because you got the words of everlasting life. You got something that these people don't got. Well, you got Alahym. Most of these people out here, they ain't got that. Don't take that for granted. You understand this man could have left you in darkness. That man called you out of darkness so not only you could save yourself, but you could save your whole household. That wasn't just for you. I'm talking to the men. I ain't talking to no woman. That wasn't just for you. That was for your wife. That was for your offspring. This man already knew what kids you was going to have before you had them. He already knew that. Come on, man. You better understand something. This ain't about, oh, he woke me up a truth to Israelites. Sit your ignorant behind down, you dumb bastard. That man brought you out of darkness to save your soul. And everyone attached to you. Everyone attached to you. Do you not understand you're responsible for everybody under your roof? You're responsible for their life. Not responsible as for if you're going to go to hell for them. You're responsible for their life. They going to look for you for guidance. They looking for you for instruction. They look for you for discipline. They can't get that from their mama. They got to get it from you. You know what I'm talking about? Every cue they going to take, they taking it from you. That's why the son say everything the father do, the son do likewise. Everything you do, they get their cues from you. What type of cues are you setting? Because that man say he teach his son to instruct him to judgment, and he do teach him what's just and correct. So you could turn around and say, truly my father is excellent in counsel and wonderful in working. You want your son and daughter to be able to say the same thing. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's a beautiful thing if it can be accomplished in the fashion that Yahuwah desire. Back to Psalms 144. We in verse 2. I mentioned war. Y'all know what war is. Oh, that's why I already mentioned war. It's Korah. And when we look in the fight, you know what it is. It's Milkamah. We coming like this here, man. We looking for a little battle, a little engagement. Understand, we just read in 2 Corinthians 5, our weapons of warfare, they're not carnal. We ain't around here using no guns and knives and bats. We don't need to do all that. We come to pierce the souls of unclean spirits with this pure, unadulterated word. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I say it's sharper than a two-edged sword, dividing asunder to the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Psalms 144 and 2. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower, my deliverer, my shield, and in whom I trust, who subdue my people under me. Yahuwah, what man that you take knowledge of him? On a son of Adam that you may account of him. Man is like the vanity, his days are a shadow that pass away. Bow your heavens, O Yahuwah, and come down and touch the mountains. And they shall smoke, cast forth lightning and scatter them. And shout out your arrows and destroy them. Send your hand from above, rid me, and deliver me out of great waters from the hand of strange children. Let me just get this strange children for you so you can understand what he's talking about. When you talking about a little strange, you talking about in the car, we talking about foreigners, aliens. See, at the end of the day, do you want to be delivered from these alien people? These people alienated from God, for one. I don't want to be around these people no more. Man, I been ain't want to be around these people. Just because a nigga move around and live their life does not mean that I have a great desire to be a part of anything that these people got going on. See, I'm a man, so I have a desire to build and produce certain things. But in my soul, in my spirit, I despise anywhere with you who is not present. I don't want to be around these people. I don't want nothing they got going on. I'm really not concerned with it. I have no desire for it. The only place I want to be is where my Alahym is, that I can rest with him. I don't like this place. I don't like anything about it. There's nothing enduring or in enjoyment about nothing here. Nothing. That's why, look at, man, it's on stuff that I do for with the brothers or with the kids or with the wife of this. I don't have a desire to do nothing on this earth. There's not a place that I desire to go. There's not a location that I desire to go. And this ain't just something that I'm saying right now. I told the brothers this a few weeks back. I don't care about going nowhere, doing nothing. None of it excites me. You know what I'm saying? None of it, in no shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm talking about? At all. The only thing that excites me is that one day I can go home and get away from here. I don't like it here. I don't like anything. And when I say here, I ain't talking about just America. I'm talking about anywhere on the earth. I don't like it. There's no place on the earth for me and anyone who thinks like me. Anyone who holds fast to the same profession of me, they know that there's no place on the earth for them. Ain't no place for us. We weirdos to these people. You understand me? Everything, these people weirdos to me. I literally heard a grown man say, yeah, I used to want to. This nigga D-Way say, yeah, man, I used to like to put on my mama's heels, do what my sister was doing, and put on dresses. This nigga's a punk. Somebody touched that man, and somebody touched his son. That's why he doing. Do you understand the epitome of confusion for a boy to think he a girl to be in a relationship with a boy who think he a girl? A girl who thinks she a boy? To be in a relationship with a boy who think he y'all in the same, you in a heterosexual relationship. You know what I'm saying? This junk crazy, bro. I don't have a desire for nowhere on this earth, man. I don't want to experience nothing that this earth has to offer. Like as forth is looking forward to it and desiring it. There's nothing on this earth everything that this earth has to offer for experience is pure and utter wickedness. You know what I'm talking about? This man told you this. The Apostle John told you this. We know the whole world lie in wickedness. So there's nothing on this earth that I desire to. Why would I have a desire to experience wickedness? I don't have a desire for that. I don't have a desire to see any of these places. It's only one place that I want to see. And I don't want to see it right now. Like I could go over there, but it won't be the same. She desolate. She ain't bringing forth fruit. Ain't no milk and honey running through that place. They've defiled it. Not only did we defile it, but then more people came in and defiled it some more. She ain't even in the pure state. It'd probably make my soul cry if I went and looked at her. She being abused. And ain't nothing I can do about it. Because it's my fault she being abused in the first place. And I got to bear that shame. That when I step on that place, that I can't even dwell there. And it's my fault. Give a damn about none of these places. I don't care about no city on this earth but one. But one. We already dealt with that verse. He said, boy, if you forget Jerusalem, you better let your tongue cleave to the roof of your mouth. You better not be able to talk. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that's something serious, man. I desire to go home, man. You know what I'm talking about? I desire to go home, man. This place is horrible. You know what I'm saying? When I say this place, I'm talking about the whole earth. This place is horrible. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely horrible. It's just disgusting. Literally, like I didn't mention this here, right? We seen it earlier today. Somebody killed 3 people in the apartment, man, took a little kid. Now they say the person they looking for who took the little kid, he killed all 3 of these people, man. You know what I'm saying? Niggas killed in this city every day by all manner of things, man. I literally heard a dude say, man, we shouldn't be pressed because Will Smith them had an open marriage and that he liked men and she liked girls. And it's something wrong with us if we don't understand that people got a different way of living. Nigga, what? And I'm talking about this black people who think like this. See, we love to put this stuff on white people. It's black people who think like this. And we out here playing games, man. Man, let me tell you something, man. The battle for souls always been tough. But my personal opinion, in this dispensation of time with this generation of youth, it's way worse because they got pools coming at them that I didn't have in the 80s, that I didn't have in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? They got mindsets and mentalities that I didn't have to fight and wade off. You know what I'm talking about? Let me tell you something, man. Don't ever think that you too good or too strong to fall for a mindset, man, because it's only by Yahuwah's mercy and grace you don't fall for particular mindsets, man. This flesh is weak. All it takes is a little itch and something to come through. I mean, I don't know if he's a sodomite or not. That's what they accuse him of being. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you one thing I do know. That's a miserable man. But that's another story for another day. Psalms 114:8, whose mouth speak vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Remember when we talking about right hand, that's the strength, see the power, that's their strength. Their strength is in lies. You understand me? Of course, right hand of what you got right there is Yamin, right hand, right side. You know, other south, right-handed, stronger. Listen what he say in verse 9. I will sing a new song unto you, O Alahym, upon a psaltery, an instrument of 10 strings will I sing praises unto you. He that gives salvation unto kings, who delivered David his servant from the hurtful sword, rid me and delivered me from the hand of strangers, whose mouth speak vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. You know what I'm talking about? Now look at what he said, right? Because David understood it's going to be difficult for our children to be what they're supposed to be in the midst of children who tell lies. It's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult. Also notice what he said, right? That he had upon the psaltery that he would sing a new song. I promise to you, it's a good thing to know songs about Yahuwah, that you can sing melody in your heart in order to give yourself strength. We should not be in the word talking about we get strength in any type of dealing with any type of thing in life, listening to a wicked nigga sing. I don't give a damn what songs got you through high school, college, or whatever the case may be. Boy, you are serving a Yahuwah and you look to a sinner to give you strength in a dark time, you need to reevaluate your life. You know what I'm talking about? Because it should be a song of a melody to Yahuwah to get you through a dark time. You shouldn't be turning to no Mary J. Blige, no Pac, no nobody to help you get through no dark time. And you say you a servant of God. They them two things don't even go together. Now you're trying to mix bitter and sweet. How that's going to work? Now it's profane and kadosh. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. There's a reason why he tell you to make melody in your heart to Yahuwah, because that means them words are replaying your spirit man, in your inward man. I'm trying to tell you, that's why I've been telling you for years, you make sure you lay that word up in your heart. It'll replay back to you like game tape. You hear his voice. It'll steal your soul. He'll speak to you. You know what I'm talking about? He going to speak to you through his word. It'll give you strength. And I'm talking about in a weak time and light and darkness. But niggas don't be wanting to believe none of that. John 3:14. And I'm telling you that from personal experience. Over 13 years. You understand me? I ain't talking about something that just happened last week. I'm talking about over 13 years. I can bear witness to that. It is factual. You know what I'm talking about? This man's word will come to mind. If that man's word don't come to mind when you face him with certain situations and circumstances, that means you ain't laid that man's word up in your heart. I ain't talking about, I need to remember what that psalm say. I'm talking about his word minister to your spirit in the moment, according to what you're dealing with in the moment. I can bear witness to it. It is true. Yahuwah is faithful, just as he says he is, and does it just how he said he'll do it. You know what I'm talking about? Lay that word up on your heart. It'll give you strength. You understand me? That's true story. John 3:14. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the son of Adam be lifted up, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have eternal life. For Alahym so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Alahym sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believe on him is not condemned, but he that believe not is condemned already, because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten son of Alahym. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that do evil hate the light, neither come to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that do truth come to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are worked in the Alahym. Understand, you're going to have to be reproved. Remember, saying anything that make light reproves, and rebukes. This is how Yahuwah instructs. What did we just read? Somebody go and somebody in this chat, tell me what Psalms 94 and 12 say. We just read it on Wednesday. Somebody tell me what Psalms 94 and 12 say. Let me know. I know we read something in Psalms 119 along them lines also. But somebody let me know. Psalms 94 and 12. What did he tell you? Indeed. Notice what he said. Blessed is the man who you chasten. Then he said, I'm going to teach you out of your law. Because if he's rebuking you, what is he going to rebuke you with? He has to rebuke you with his instructions. You understand? Let's take a look at something with Manasseh. What it is? Kings, Chronicles. Let's come over here and look at something with Manasseh. See what one I want. 2 Kings chapter 21, verse 9, I suppose. Well, you can pick it up at verse 1, and I'll move my way around. Manasseh, 12 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hetzbah. He did evil in the sight of Yahuwah, after the abominations of the heathen, whom Yahuwah had cast out before the sons of Yasharal. Now, I want y'all to always remember this here, right? Always remember this here, understand this here. Yasharal has always dealt with the influence of the heathen. And that influence seemed to be great unto us because of the freedom that they believed that those people had to fulfill their desires. It's always had a strong pull. That's why he told you not to love the world, nor anything in the world. For in the world is the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, and that is of the world and not of Abba. And he that loved the world is not of Alahym. There's a reason why he tells you that, because you're going to have to cleave to things that are not of God. See, we were talking about this here, right? On Wednesday about becoming a full age. Eventually, you have to put the things of a child away. The envy, the malice, the unfaithfulness, aka the hypocrisies, the evil speakings, the running after riot, the banquetings, living to the will of the Gentiles. Those are all childish things. And when you become of age and you're able to discern between good and evil, you have to put those things away. You know what I'm saying? They got to go away. Because where is your growth at? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or have we allowed ourselves to be deceived? Like he said in Luke, our master delay is coming. So I'm going to eat and drink with the men servants and the maid servants. We think he delaying so we can live it up? Nah. Man, I told Deidre that earlier. Now, that thing that I put y'all in there, they was mainly talking about South Florida, about Florida's no longer the most affordable place to live. And anybody who live in the state already know that it is very expensive to live in South Florida. You know what I'm talking about? But man, this junk's finna get so ugly out here, man, that people ain't gonna have nowhere to stay. And people gonna have to do a lot of things that some people in other countries have already done. And what you hear some groups say that they'll do, people gonna actually have to group up and live with one another, because you're not gonna be able to maintain yourself by yourself. And you can keep on living in an illusion that it's not gonna get that way. These people gonna squeeze you out. I already told you can see the stuff that they're doing. These people already got rent control in some places. They're trying to pass laws that say an individual can't own but a certain amount of pieces of property. Like, you have to pay attention to what they're doing. They're going to squeeze you out. Man, people be back, I make 100K. Man, eventually somebody making 100K going to be the equivalent of somebody making 30 to 40. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to just be barely surviving with that 100. And it's been going that way for a long time. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. Like, things ain't going to get better financially in this place. That's not happening. That's not happening. Because if it goes back that way, it's going to be a major financial collapse, and everybody's going to be at the brink of poverty, except for a chosen few, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? You have to think, you have to already have your mind set on that. Or you think it's finna get better? You think you finna get rich? No, that's not gonna happen. I mean, it can happen, but you're gonna have to understand that you're gonna have to compromise yourself in order to do it. For what these people got planned coming. And I already told you can see the handwriting on the wall. They want to make all property, not private, but owned by the government. See, the last thing you want is the socialistic system that you see embarked on across the world, which is really not even socialistic, but communism. You don't want that to happen. You don't want what they did in Cuba to happen. You don't want what they did in China to happen. You don't want what they did in the old Soviet Union to happen, because you're going to have to worship their God. You're going to have to live how they say live. They're going to pay you what they want to pay you, and they're going to take everything from you, and they're going to tell you what you can have. You know what I'm talking about? And communal economics does not operate in that fashion in this text. Yahuwah has never operated in that fashion, but that's how those people operate their economic systems. Their economic systems, no matter what economic system exists, was never to benefit anyone but themselves. You know what I'm talking about? These people don't care about the people. Y'all should already know that. It's only one person who cares about the people, and that's Yahuwah. These people are evil. I don't care what country it is. Just don't single out America. Every continent on this earth that has a government that was constructed and created and formed by man is wicked before God. Every one of them. No nationality exempt. Every one of them. Every economic system that was created and formed by man is wicked before God. Every one of them. It's not anything that's exempt. And you know why those economic systems are wicked? Because the men who operate them are wicked. So therefore, they don't have any choice to be wicked. There's no righteous men running and ruling anything in the earth. That's why the righteous are sad. Have you forgotten what the text said? Have you forgotten what the text said? When the wicked are in power, the righteous mourn. You understand me? There's only one government that's pure before God. And that's the one that God himself created. The manifestment of Kadashness, the beauty of Kadash. Serve him in it. I thank the Lord. Praise the Lord. Thank you. Well, I'm at, man. 2 Kings. Indeed. And then you have to look at what was going on in the course of Acts. And let's make sure that we bring about what we had going on as our economy was concerned. Because number one, like we said, we like to put stuff on it. It's capitalistic, it's communistic or socialistic. But man, this man pretty much said, hey man, you got goods and services. Okay, you can sell them. Don't charge nobody no interest. Hey man, hey, I give everybody an inheritance of land, so you ain't got to fight and take no land. You ain't got to do none of that. You ain't never got to fight and beef with no land, because everybody got it. And if you want to sell your land, you can sell it, but can't nobody force you to do it. Can't nobody take it from you. You know what I'm talking about? Because what? Because niggas fell in debt in the land. You know that because you had Jubilee. So these things happen. People fell into debt. They borrowed money, couldn't pay it back. Sold themselves into captivity. But they had to be set free at a certain time. It's like bankruptcy. All this stuff. Look at man, you would never say, hey man, you can only sell your grapes for whatever. He said you can sell whatever you want to sell it for. He didn't say, hey man, you got to pay people this, that, and the third. He said, whatever you pay that man, you make sure you pay that man before the sun go down. Give him his money. You know what I'm talking about? Give him his money. You know what I'm talking about? He also said, hey man, you got grapes, you got this stuff. Hey man, don't cut all that there, man. Leave that out there for the poor people so when they come by, they can eat it. But he said, look here, nigga, don't you be no slick nigga now and try to kick you no basket and load up, take what you need to eat and go on about your business. You know what I'm talking about? So then when Yahusha came through and said, hey man, I'm giving you one heart and one way. Hey man, y'all can take all this stuff, pull it together, and make sure you take care of the poor people now. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all look out for one another. Make sure you look at it that what you got is what I got, and what I got is what you got, because we one and the same. Because if I look at it that what I got is what I got, that means I look at you and say you ain't a part of me. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they were doing with living communal, because this wasn't nothing that the scribes and Pharisees had to make these people do. This wasn't nothing that the high priest say, this is a governmental system, that this is what we're going to do. This is what we do because we love you. Who I love my brother needed, I got it. You got it, I got it. Simple as that. We're going to put all this stuff together, make sure niggas straight. But at the end of the day, if you got something to sell, you can sell it for what you want to sell it for. If you're going to hire somebody, remember the parable, he said, I'm evil because I do what's just. He said, I agreed to pay you a penny. You know what I'm talking about? If I come to you and say, hey, bro, I got a job for you to do, I'm going to pay you $600. You can't tell me that I'm exploiting you if I looked you in the face and said, this is what I'm going to pay you. What I made ain't got nothing to do with you. That's what you were telling them. But man, I started from the beginning and they came in later and they got the same thing I got. Ain't that's what I agreed to you for? Yeah, then what you coming at me for then? You know what I'm talking about? That's what he told him. Don't size me, bro. I told you I pay you a penny. What I pay him ain't got nothing to do with what I had a conversation with you. Because me and you had an agreement. Now you feel like because he can't, I'm supposed to get this here. That's whole behavior. That's not how men operate. They ain't got what he got ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't got nothing to do with me. If as long as I got my revenue by right, nigga, shut your mouth. If I ain't did no wickedness, nigga, shut your mouth. Yahuwah done gave the increase. He saw fit to give me that. Shut your mouth. But at the end of the day, man, like I told y'all Wednesday, man, the poor in the land to make sure to see if you niggas merciful or not. That's how he try you hard to see if he can reward you. That's the way he try you. See, you don't even know he teaching you how when he teaching you. That's why ain't nobody like our God. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nobody like Yahuwah, man. Ain't nobody like him. Nobody teach like him. The way that he teach makes a fully developed man who cannot be destroyed by the workings of darkness or the world. Don't nobody teach like him. I told y'all before, man, you teach without realizing you teaching. That's how you know you've been in America too long. Because you think instruction is sitting down, son, let me show you this here. You teach every day, don't even know you teaching. You teach your children every day by the things you do or don't do. I done told y'all this before. Every time y'all come in here and you get them cheering food to eat, you done taught them that they don't need to take this seriously. This is not a place for them to prepare to learn and be instructed. It's a time for them to eat snacks because that's what they've been trained to do. You taught them that. You didn't realize you taught them that because you wouldn't do that when you send them to school to tell them open up a lunchbox when they walk in the classroom. You're not going to do that. You're going to tell them you need to open up your books and prepare to learn. It should be the same thing. They should have a greater reverence for this than the damn schoolhouse. They should be looking forward to this just as much as they look forward to go to school to learn absolutely nothing. In relevance to their soul. See, that junk only going to benefit them in a wicked system. Because understand, it's a wicked system. Ain't nothing just about it. And we got more reverence for learning in a wicked system than the system that's going to save your soul, that's going to teach you wisdom and instruction, that's going to give you wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, that they say, look at the people who got such a great law that they God that close to them. Come on, man. Come on, man. Man, you just don't understand how beautiful it is, man. You understand me? This man done came through in the clutch when you was on your knees, bent down, broken and disturbed, about to go down a pathway of death that you didn't even know was coming. And that man shined a light in your face and said, come follow me. Do you understand that? Man, that man could have left you on a pathway of darkness to destroy yourself. And that man say, man, come follow me. And the generation that you produce, I'll have them serve me, and I'll deliver you from every generation of people who taught you folly. Just like what he told you in Peter. You understand me? This man say, man, you ain't been delivered from the vain tradition of your fathers. You ain't been redeemed with that by silver and gold. Man, it's the blood of the Lamb that delivered. You understand this man delivered you from every bit of folly from every generation that preceded you? Do you understand that? That means the generations that you produce have an opportunity that the generations that came before you did not have. And you're taking it for granted. You're not understanding the great gift that has been given unto you and to your offspring and to your offspring and their offspring's offspring. You got the opportunity for this man Kadash's word to be written on their heart and that they may be filled with life. Why is you taking it for granted? You ain't guaranteed nothing but to die. And this man giving you a guarantee of life. All you got to do is hold fast to it. Ain't the Lord good? Praise you. I thank the Lord. 21 and 3. 2 Kings. For he built up again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and reared up altars for Baal, and made a grove, as did Ahab king of Yasharal, and worshiped all the hosts of Shamahim and served them. He built altars in the house of Yahuwah, of which Yahuwah said, Jerusalem will I put my name. He built altars for all the hosts of heaven in the two courts of the house of Yahuwah. Made his sons pass through fire, observed time, used enchantment, dealt with familiar spirits, wizards, worked much wickedness in the sight of Yahuwah to provoke to anger. And he set a graven image in the grove that he made in the house, of which Yahuwah said to David and to Solomon his son, in this house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Yasharal, will I put my name forever. Neither will I make the feet of Yasharal move anymore out of the land which I gave their fathers, only if they will observe to do according to all that I have commanded them, according to all the law that my servant Moses commanded them, but they hearkened not. And listen what it said. Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than did the nations whom Yahuwah did destroy before the sons of Yasharal. Now let's look at seduce. Let's look at seduce. Let's see what it translates to. It said he seduced them. It said he seduced them. And with that one there, you have ta'ah, which is a word you know, and seduce here is to cause, to err, to mislead, to wander, to go astray. You understand? Remember what Paul wrote? We just read it Wednesday, I believe, 2 Timothy 3. Evil men wax worse and worse, seducing and being seduced. They're causing people to go astray. You know what I'm talking about? Causing people, indeed, brother. It's causing people to go astray. Got to be careful with that. You understand? Remember what we read the other day in Proverbs 4, man, it's a straight gate, man. It's a narrow path, and you can't go to the left hand or to the right. You got to make sure your mind and heart is affixed to go straight. It's a tight path. Ain't no wiggle room. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no wiggle room. I ain't trying to castigate anybody. I just want you to consider. Always consider. Things like this always have to be brought back up from time to time. You got to consider. But right now, we're talking about instruction. Because he's talking about who is he going to cause to understand doctrine? Well, you have to be chastised and rebuked to understand doctrine. Do you not understand before Yahushua gave them the full doctrine, what happened to him? Before this man resurrected from the dead and showed them that the whole book was about him, what happened to him? I mean, was chastised. He was rebuked. You know what I'm talking about? He suffered. And then he gave them the understanding of the tidings. He was weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast at that point. Come on back to Isaiah 28, man. Hold on. I ain't even get to what I needed in Manasseh. That's my fault with Manasseh. Pardon me. Pardon me. I am in verse 10 of 2 Kings chapter 20. Yahuwah spake by his servant the prophet, saying, because Manasseh king of Yehudah have done these abominations, and have done wickedly above all that the Amorites did, which were before him, and have made Yehudah also to sin with idols. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym of Yasharal, behold, evil upon Jerusalem and Yehudah, and that whosoever hear of it, both his ears shall tingle. And I will stretch over Jerusalem the line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab, and I will wipe Jerusalem as a man wipe a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. Do you understand how serious that is, man? Let me say you're going to flip the whole city upside down and wipe it clean like you wipe a dish. I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become a prey and a spoil to all their enemies. Because they have done evil in my sight and provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came forth out of Egypt unto this day. Understand, he just ain't say, y'all ain't just start doing this. Y'all ain't just start doing this. See, the key point of what we're trying to impart also to even is that your mind has to be so knit together with this man, because it is so easy to get pulled away from him if it's not. It is so easy to get pulled away from this man if it's not. I'm trying to tell you, that's why the man told you about don't sow your seed amongst the thorns, because the cares and affairs of this life and the deceitfulness of riches choke off the word that it can't bring forth no fruit. And I just telling y'all, and this is just my personal opinion, the mass majority of people who in the word, they fall victim to that second and third seed more than anybody. That one amongst the stones and that amongst the thorns. Most people in this word fall victim to that. See, let me show you something since I'm talking about amongst the thorns. Come on over to Hosea 10, because, you know, we ain't talked about Hosea 10 in a long time when it comes to that one now, and it's time to bring it on out the clip. Come on over here to Hosea 10 and 12. We just come straight on to it. Get straight on to it. 10 and 12, if you would, book of Hosea. Sow to yourselves righteousness and reap in mercy and break up your fallow ground. For it is time to seek Yahuwah till he come and rain righteousness upon you. You've plowed wickedness, you've reaped iniquity, you've eaten the fruit of lies, because you did trust in your own way and in the multitude of your mighty men. Now, see, we want to look at your fallow ground and what that really means. When you look at fallow ground, it's near. Noon, Yod, and Rosh. It's tillable or untilled or fallowed ground. It is fleshly plowed land, or this, that, there, and the third. He say, don't let these, when he sit there, right, break up your untilled ground. A heart that has, remember what he said in Genesis, right? It was a land that had not been labored in, right? Say no man had worked it. See, before that word comes, see, you got to break up that ground and allow that seed to be able to take root so that it can bring forth. Because I told you this when we were talking about being born again. The life is in the man. There's no life in a woman. Women don't have life in them. They don't have it. There's no disrespect to women. It's just the reality. Life is not in them. They bring forth the life, but they don't have life. See, we've allowed because of, see, it's like this here, right? And I told you this here, just for the simple fact that, of course, you know, when you put your seed in a woman's body, your seed ravages that woman's body, and she ought to get certain care and consideration when she carrying your seed. But understand this here, the same way she bringing forth your seed, you gave her the honor of having the ability to carry your seed. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because at the end of the day, you can impregnate a whole bunch of women. You can impregnate whoever you want. It's an honor for a woman to carry your seed, especially if you are a man of godliness, worth, and value to begin with. That's why a lot of women want to have children from men of that sort, because they know that that's an honor for them to bring forth his child. Understand? So you got to understand, son, it's an honor for you if this man done drop his seed in your heart. That's an honor for you, because you get to bring forth that. He didn't have to do that. He could have put his seed anywhere, but he chose to place it in your heart. Let me get that Matthew 13 for those of y'all. (13 and 18). We good in Hosea 10. But notice what he said, right? You plowed wickedness and all you got back was iniquity, because you love to eat lies. These people love lies, man. And we love the lies that our heart tell ourselves, to be quite honest. You know what I'm talking about? 13 and 18, book of Matthew. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone hear the word of the dominion, the malkuth, the reign, and understand not. Understand this here, right? Who will he cause to understand doctrine or good news? The gospel brings forth the good news of the dominion and reign of Alahym. We know this because we know what Isaiah 52 and 7 say. How beautiful are the feet of him upon the mountains that bring glad tidings of good, that publishes along, that say unto Zion, your Alahym is Malik, or your Alahym reign, your Alahym has dominion. You understand this here, right? The gospel brings forth good news in two separate arenas. One, it announces the reign, dominion, and rule of the living God, first and foremost. And then it publishes the peace or the salvation that he worked by offering himself as an unblemished and pure sacrifice to wash man of their sins, that they may repent, be forgiven, and be filled with the Ruach HaKodesh and everlasting life to reign with him in his everlasting kingdom. And if they ain't talking about that, man, them niggas ain't talking about nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Nothing that's going to benefit your life. I can tell you that. I'm talking about your everlasting life. Might benefit your natural life, but it ain't going to benefit your everlasting soul. I can tell you that. So notice, right? Because they don't understand, they babies. Babies don't understand dominion. Babies don't understand rule. Because with dominion and rule, you got structure and order. Babies don't understand that. So when anyone hear the word of the Malkuth and understand not, then come the wicked and catch away that was sown in his heart. That is he which receives seed by the wayside. See, that takes us back to what we read in Hosea 10. What we read in Hosea 10. He told you, sow to yourselves in righteousness and reap in mercy. He said, but you plowed wickedness. That's what was sown in your heart. That's tough. But he that receives seed in stony places, the same as he that hear the word and annoyed with joy receive it. Yet he have no root in himself. He dureth for a while. When tribulation and persecution arise because of the word, by and by he is offended. See, a lot of people fall into that one. When their hearts get, and again, all this is dealing with the testing and the trying of the reins. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that hear the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke off the word, and he become unfruitful. See, come take a look at Jeremiah chapter 4. That's Lamentations. That's not Jeremiah. He gonna tell you the same thing. He gonna tell you the same thing. Jeremiah 4:1. If you will return, O Yasharal, saith Yahuwah, this is Jeremiah 4:1. Say and return unto me, if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, and you shall not remove. We still hold 2 Kings 21, by the way. And you shall swear Yahuwah live in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness, and the nations shall baruch themselves in him, and in him shall they esteem. For thus saith Yahuwah to the men of Yehudah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground, sow not among the thorns. So again, you have your fallow ground again. You know what that is. A zarah with sow is seed. So understand this here, right? That man said, and you know, don't have your seed among the thorns. Don't let that word dwell amongst the thorns, because you know thorns and briars are to be rejected and nigh unto cursing and are to be burned. Thorns is kotzi, kuf, and sod. You know what I'm talking about? See, you can mess around when you're dealing with casting that word amongst them thorns, and you're going to see that you're going to secure a way that will have you separated, removed from the light. That's not what you want. Circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah and take away the foreskin of your heart, you men of Yehudah, inhabitants of Jerusalem. Lest my fury come forth like fire and burn that none can quench because of the evil of your doings. And of course, you know, Yahuwah go to talk about a lot of things about what these wicked people had going on with your forefathers. But y'all know verse 14, though, O Jerusalem, wash your heart from wickedness that you may be saved. How long will your vain thoughts lodge within you? Now, when you sit back and look at vain, you understand what is that? That is a vein. How long will wicked and idolatrous thoughts dwell in your heart? How will you have wicked, idolatrous thoughts and devices, plans and purposes? How long will that occur? But that's what happens when you sow among the thorns. You're just going to have the trouble and sorrow of iniquity. Ain't going to be no profit for you. Your plans and devices are going to fail. Let's continue. In 2 Kings chapter 21. I'm good. We're good in Matthew. I just thank the Lord. It's a conclusion to the matter. You just got to bear with me till we get there. 2 Kings 21, verse 16. However, Manasseh shed innocent blood very much till he filled Jerusalem from one end to another, besides his sin where he made Yehudah to sin and doing evil in the sight of Yahuwah. See, Manasseh had a lot going on. He had a lot going on and wasn't none of it good. Come over here to Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 33. I think I need verse 10. Now we're going to get to what he did to him. I'll make it 9. 2 Chronicles 33 and 9. So Manasseh made Yehudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem to err, to do worse than the heathen, whom Yahuwah had destroyed before the sons of Yasharal. Yahuwah spake to Manasseh and to his people, but they would not hearken. Wherefore Yahuwah brought upon them the captain of the host, the king of Assyria, which took Manasseh among the thorns, bound him with fetters, and carried him to Babylon. And when he was in affliction, he besought Yahuwah his Alahym, and humbled himself greatly before the Alahym of his fathers, and prayed unto him, and he was entreated of him, and heard his supplication, and brought him again to Jerusalem and to his kingdom. Then Manasseh knew that Yahuwah, he was Alahym. Now, why is this important? What do y'all take from that last viewpoint of Manasseh here? What would you be able to decipher and discern? What type of information would you share with a person in regards to understanding doctrine, reading this particular conclusion, understanding what was already spoken of Manasseh and what he did and what he had done? Don't overthink it, because I know that can happen. Don't overthink it. Y'all got something for me? It's okay if you don't. It's no big deal. I understand. Let's take first things first. Brought the captain of the host of the kings of Assyria, and bound him with fetters and carried him to Babylon. Know that they took Mashiach in Matthew 27 and bound him with fetters to lead him before Pontius Pilate. You understand? When he was affliction, he besought his Yahuwah, his Alahym, and humbled himself greatly. Let this mind be in you, the same mind that was in Yahushua HaMashiach, who thought it not robbery to make himself equal with Alahym, and humbled himself even to death, even unto death, even the death of the state. Remember my Alahym, why have you forsaken me? Abba, into your hands I commit my Ruach. So he humbled himself greatly. He prayed unto Alahym. He was entreated of him, and he has heard his supplication, and he brought him back to Jerusalem and to his kingdom. So when he resurrected him from the dead, guess where Yahushua going to return to? To his kingdom, in that same place. And guess, understand this here. Yahushua knew it before he went in the grave, but when he came out of the grave, he knew certainly who his Alahym was. And all of this is dealing with the same fashion. How did Yahuwah teach Manasseh that he was Alahym? Through rebuke, reproof, and correction, or the musar, the instruction, the chastening, the discipline. Because remember, his Alahym teaches him discretion for him to learn judgment. He instructs him to discretion, So he rebukes and chastises him to learn judgment. Manasseh didn't learn judgment until Yahuwah chastised him. This is why Yahuwah could receive him as a son and set him back in his kingdom. That's how he's excellent in workings. You understand? Wonderful in counsel, because nobody is going to instruct and teach like Yahuwah does. Let's return back to Isaiah 28. We got more things to deal in Isaiah 28, and we need to start because we started talking about that chief cornerstone last week by the grace of Alahym and Psalms 118. So I want you to come down here, right? Because we dealt with so far in Isaiah 28, we talked about the stuff in the beginning. We focused a lot on verses 8 to 12. We dealt with the weary to rest and the refreshing. We talked about the falling backwards and being broken and snared and taken. But he said, work right here in verse 14, Isaiah 28 and 14. Wherefore hear the word of Yahuwah, you scornful men that rule this people, which in Jerusalem. So understand who he's talking to. It is true. That's a fact. It is for only a chosen few. And that's just in life, period. I told y'all this before. Anything worth having in life is not easy because you're going to have to discipline yourself to be able to do it. Even with these people with these carnal vocations that they make a lot of money that a lot of people get upset about, it takes a lot of discipline to become a world-class athlete. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's entertainment. Yes, they do X, Y, Z. But at the end of the day, yes, these are talented men. And these men have to have a tremendous amount of discipline and focus to be able to do the things that they do. You're here, right? We know that these people invoke evil spirits and work all manner of wickedness, but as a musician. Now, see, me and D was also talking about this here the other day also, because it was something that Steve Harvey was talking about his fourth is how people get paid in the entertainment business. And it was something that somebody said that stood out. You never see anybody in the entertainment business retire. Very rarely. These people work till they die. You know what I'm talking about? Betty White worked till the day she died because they don't really make money like that. Yes, they live an opulent lifestyle, but you got so many people got hands in their pockets that they have to keep working. They can never stop. Man, some people look at, man, the Isley Brothers music been sampled for years. They should be getting massive royalty checks. And this nigga Ron Isley was stealing SSI checks and literally went to federal prison for it. And a nigga sit back and look at, but they got all this money. They don't have what you think they have. They're doing better than most, but they don't have what you think they have. You know what I'm saying? This is why he tell you don't envy sinners, because you don't really know what these sinners going through and what they have and what they don't have and what they have to do to maintain it. This is one of that's why he tell you not to do it. Because it seemed like it, man. But like I told y'all Wednesday, man, that parable in Luke 16 ain't no joke. Them people living sumptuously now, they have no reward coming for them. They ain't got no reward coming for them. Come over here to Luke chapter 6. I let the Lord tell you. I ain't just going to tell it to you. I'm going to let the Lord tell it to you. Luke 6 and 20. After that, the epistle of James chapter 5. I let the Lord tell it to you. Yeah, musicians, but I'm talking about Betty White wasn't a musician. She was an actress. And that lady worked till she was 99 years old. Do you really think that lady really enjoyed going on sound sets and all this stuff till she was 99? Man, Mick Jagger still got to go all across the world in these tight leather pants. This man damn near 80. You know what I'm saying? He can't stop work. Some people like, they sold, they got to keep going. Nah, man, at the end of the day, they got to pay their management team. They got to pay this person. They got to pay taxes. People like, how these athletes be going broke? Because it don't take much. People steal from them. The people are slaves to maintaining a lifestyle that they probably don't even want to live anymore because that's what they done sold to you. And then, of course, this makes the people of the land, especially our people, feel like that they have to emulate said lifestyle. I literally just seen a football player at the draft say you can't never have too much sauce. Got all these big old chains on, big old iced out watches, because that's what a nigga feel like he got to show you that he's successful. Nigga look like a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? Well, most of them, they young. See, it's easy for us to say that, but how would any of us act if you were 21, 22 years old and somebody handed you $20 million? You know what I'm saying? $40 million. You went from today you have nothing to, yesterday you had nothing to today you got 20 million. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for us to say that, but who knows what any of us would have done at 21 years old, coming from wherever you came from as a child and whatever you experienced and whatever you were taught or you weren't taught. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really say, because we know for one thing for certain, a nigga gonna buy something. You know what I'm talking about? You may not buy something super, super high, but you're gonna buy something. You know what I'm talking about? Then you got the aspect of what most young men are taught. Most young men are taught that they got to be responsible for their whole family, for their mama, for this person and that person. At the end of the day, it's not that young man's responsibility to take care of his mama. His mama's supposed to have a husband for that. That's not his job. But that's what's told to young men. You got to take care of your mama. You got to take care of your sibling. No, that's not my job. My brother's supposed to go create his own life and go get him a wife. My sister's supposed to go get a husband. You know what I'm talking about? That's how that's supposed to go. Do you understand what type of pressure that is to put on a young man that he got to be responsible for families that he didn't create? He didn't create that family. Those are his siblings and his parents. He's not responsible for these people. See, most women don't understand that because ain't nobody putting pressure on you. That man got a whole family on his shoulders he got to carry. You know what I'm talking about? And the family that he may create. He got to carry them too. And extended family. It's his responsibility to pull a whole bunch of people up out of poverty. Man, you can't. Yeah, that's a lot to ask of a 21-year-old man. That man, he ain't even a man yet. God forbid he ain't had no daddy. He ain't even got no direction. You know what I'm saying? One thing I can tell you, Christina, this is one thing I've known my entire life. Money doesn't change anybody. It just enhances who you already are. You know what I'm talking about? That's all it does. It just enhances who you already are. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to tell you something, man. Most people don't really realize it until you start making a certain amount of money. That money go quick. You know what I'm saying? And it go quick because usually when you make a lot more money, your expenses go up with it. But see, Hammer wasn't a fool. Hammer was just trying to take care of people. That's how he got. He wasn't telling niggas no. He felt like it was his responsibility to save niggas. And that's how he went broke. See, that's my point of what I'm talking about. Because we be on the outside looking in when we see these people go broke, and we don't really be knowing the stories of how some of these people went broke. Hammer didn't go broke because he just was a fool. Hammer was giving everybody jobs. These niggas weren't even doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? He paying niggas almost 6 figures to stand on the stage. Because he felt like it's his responsibility to get these niggas out the hood. And guess what? When he went broke, like Devin the Dude had in the song one long time ago, what you gonna do when the people go home? Boy, ain't nobody gonna be there, man. Ain't nobody gonna be there for you. Ain't nobody gonna be there for you. When that money gone, these people gone. Because you can't benefit them no more. I'm out of here. You know what I'm talking about? And all that good you try to do for a nigga, they gonna sit back and laugh at you and talk about how you went broke. But I can't even call him a Captain Save a Hoe because that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespectful. He just was trying to be what he felt like a real friend and man is supposed to do, and that's put his friends and the people around him on. I can't disrespect him for that. Absolutely, Lil John. I can't disrespect him for that. Because see, he did different than say what they say Jay-Z do, which he gives somebody an opportunity. I give you some work, and then you do whatever you do with the work. You know what I'm talking about? He was like, hey, man, get a job, man. Nah, don't be standing on the corner. Don't do this here. Hey, come on the road with me. I got you. You know what I'm talking about? I can't be mad at a man for that. Because that's most niggas who got money gonna do. Because most niggas who got money ain't gonna break bread with nobody. They ain't gonna put nobody on. Man, the best thing a man can ever do is put you in a position to get you some money. Don't you understand if another man look you in your face and give you an opportunity to make you some money, that means that man care about your growth and expansion. And it ain't too many people out here care about that. It's for seeing you grow and expand as a man if he put you in a position to feed yourself and to build whatever you're doing, man. I can't never knock no man who do that. It definitely could have. He just didn't go about it in the right way. But guess what? He was young too. He was young too. This wasn't no 37-year-old man when he was in that position. He was in his early 20s. Man, see, like I said, man, it's easy for us from the outside looking in, but you don't know what it's like to be that young and have all that fame and all that money and all that responsibility thrust on your shoulders like that. Because everybody looking at you, you got to save them. You the hope for us to have a better life. That's the burden that a man carry. A woman don't carry that burden because at any time she can say, I can go be a housewife. A man can never do that. A man is responsible not just for his family, but he's responsible for the people around him. That's the greatness of being born a man. You know what I'm talking about? because you have the ability to change lives. You know what I'm talking about? You have the ability for that. You got to understand you're a leader, you're a guider, you're an instructor, you're a corrector, you're a facilitator. These are all the things that you were blessed with when you came out your mama's womb as a man. Can't take it for granted. You were made in the image of Yahuwah. Given the mind and heart of Yahuwah, if you so desire to embrace it. Oh, I thank the Lord. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, man. You got to be able to break bread. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't nothing wrong with putting nobody on, man. Put a nigga on, man. Help somebody change their life for the better. Because in doing so, you helping him enhance the life of his family, which can in turn turn around and he can help his children can turn around and enhance the life of his friends and his children that he would have. See, that's the cycle of life when it comes to that. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm talking about? It's true. It's true. A lot of people get money. They ain't going to help nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't help nobody, man. I feel like this here, man. You have the ability, the knowledge, the resources, the connections to help somebody better their life. Do it. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't even about if you get something in return. What you should get in return is, see, sometimes people get messed up at because you doing it, hoping this person gonna come back and look out for you. You can't even be concerned with that. You know what I'm talking about? If the people that you want around you to win, if that's what you want, whatever winning is for them. You know what I'm talking about? You got to do that as a man. I told y'all that about adding value to the people in your life. That's just what you do as a man. You know what I'm saying? As a man, that's what you're supposed to do. How can I make this man life better? Because in making his life better, I can help make his children's life better, which means he can turn around and his children can make the people who they come across life better. That's the legacy of a man. You know what I'm talking about? And you don't do it for notoriety. You do it because that's what a man does. He enhances and adds value to whomever he comes across. That's what a man does. That's what Yahuwah has done for you. See, when he came through and he got those 12 men and he instructed those men and he sent those men out, that's continued added value over and over again. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? It do got to be in you to expect nothing in return. You know what I'm saying? I understand, because you got to understand something when you do stuff. Are you doing business? Because if you're doing business, then you expect a return. But like I said, man, this is just what I was taught when we were hustling. Man, I just was telling my homeboy this the other day. Man, I don't even understand how niggas, when we were hustling, nigga ain't got no dope and nigga don't want you to catch the serve. He'll rather let the money leave. Man, no, man, ain't no money leaving here, man. Man, I told you this before. When I walk in the room, everybody I know walk in the room with me. They don't have to be physically there. You know what I'm talking about? Meaning, if you do X, Y, Z, it doesn't even matter, because when I'm in the room, you in the room. Because we're not going to let the money lead the spot. Nigga, I done been in the spot, ain't got no dope. My nigga got some dope, nigga, pop them off. Because it doesn't matter if I get the money. It's to keep the business going. Keep the money coming. Who cares? You get it, I get it, long as the money is coming. Because if the money coming, everybody going to eat. But if the money ain't coming, niggas going to starve. And when niggas starve, niggas pick up pistols. Niggas steal. That's why the book say don't give me poverty unless I steal and take the name of my Alahym in vain. That's what happens. You understand that? You get desperate. When you get desperate, you make bad decisions. Nevertheless, Luke 6:20. That's also the hallmark of a leader. And then that's the hallmark of how much do you love your friends. You really want to see them come up? If you knew your nigga, see, this is what people be going talking about. Nobody to support me. Bump all that support, sharing my post junk, nigga. That's corny. You know what I'm talking about? If there's an opportunity where you can help this man get some money, is you gonna do it? Give a damn about no sharing, no post. You know what I'm talking about? If you came in a room with somebody and okay, this person do music, and you know your man do music, and he looking for somebody, and he say, yeah, man, I could get him I got 100 grand. You gonna sit back and be like, no, I don't know nobody who do that? Or is you gonna facilitate that move so your man can get that 100 grand? You know what I'm talking about? If it's a contract work that your man's do, and you know that he do that, and you know there's an opportunity, is you gonna make sure that that opportunity get in his hands? Nigga, that's better than a damn Facebook post. That's the type of junk we on. Nigga, don't share my stuff. Nigga, what? Nigga, that sounds dumb. Did you make the business for your friends or did you make your business for the populace at large? I done told you about that before. I don't respect that junk. My friends don't support me junk. You ain't create no business for your friends and family, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't create that for them. If they can do business with you, fine. But is that who you made it for? You ain't had no business getting in business. You thinking too small. You ain't cut for this. You think Bill Gates was walking around here talking about none of my friends supported me? You think Larry Ellison, Arthur Blank, nobody, none of my friends ever go to Home Depot. They go to Lowe's. He didn't care. He didn't build Home Depot for them. Luke 6:20. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, Baruch, be you poor, for yours is the reign of Alahym. Baruch are you that hunger now, for you shall be filled. Baruch are you that weep now, for you shall laugh. Baruch are you when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you, and shall reproach you, and cast your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice you in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in Shamahim, for in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. But woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger, and woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. And woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. See, most of these people in the world who have riches and wealth, they already have their reward. They ain't got nothing coming. And it's not because they're rich, it's because the evil thoughts and intents of their heart. That's all it is. It ain't because they got the money. It's the heart behind the person with the money. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's going to be people who have money who going to be saved. So it's never the money. It's the heart of the man with the money. You know what I'm saying? James 5. And most of the people who have money in this world, not just America, because America, look at, man, it's a lot of people who got money in America. It's a lot of people outside of America who got money too. And they all going to hell. Let me tell you something, what I've noticed. Most people who have a large amount of wealth utterly despise Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? Hate this man with a passion. Why they hate him? Yahuwah knows. They know and Yahuwah knows. I ain't wore this in a long time. Personal favorite. You can see it right there. That juice is pretty low. I don't have too many of them where the juice get that low. Well, not that low, but it's got a dent in it. You know, I've worn that a lot. James 5:1. Go to now, rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. For your riches are corrupted, your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and you shall eat your flesh as it were fire, and you have reaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is you kept back by fraud, cries of them which have reaped have entered into the ears of the Lord of the Sabaoth. And what is that talking about? He talking about these people who had money, knew these men went out to work and didn't pay them. Remember what the law say, pay a man, lest he cry unto me and it be sent unto you. He said, boy, y'all ain't paid these people their money, and they cried to me. You defrauded them. You said you was going to pay them this, and boy, you ain't paid. Well, I'm coming to see you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm coming to see you. It do, but some of them, like you said in Luke, you know, definitely that is true. Some men definitely do esteem their money as God. But you got people who esteem money as God. So there's that. You know what I'm talking about? But remember, he said they make themselves rich towards Alahym. I mean, rich towards themselves and not towards God. But you got to remember, money is their God because they hate the true and living God. People hate Yahuwah, man. They hate this man. I don't even think some of us really fully understand the hatred that the majority of the world has for Yahuwah. But it's pretty high. Let's get over here to Isaiah 28, man. It's pretty high, man. I thank the Lord, man. I appreciate y'all time this evening, man. I know I was a little, well, now it's getting close to the time to starting at 9. But I had to get these clothes in order. You're the first person I ever seen in my life say the cream mentality. For most niggas, that junk just was a song if they wasn't from up north. But money does definitely. I mean, the book tell you that money answer all things. You know what I'm talking about? So we can't never sit back and look at it and make it not be as if it's a minute or unnecessary matter. You know what I'm saying? Because money answer a lot of problems. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of problems that a lot of people have and a lot of stuff that a lot of people do is because they're destitute. And because they're destitute and they don't have no reliance on Yahuwah, I'm telling you, I done been there. It's for being around men who like that. Like I'd have been broke, but I ain't never been desperate enough to pull wild crimes. I've been in prison with dudes like that. You know what I'm saying? Poverty can push niggas over the edge. You know what I'm talking about? Some of us don't never get to that point. Some of you never had to get to that point because you had a safety net to fall on. You had somebody who, if it got that bad, you could rely on. You got a lot of people out here, boy, they ain't got nobody. And poverty makes niggas have strange thoughts. You know what I'm talking about? Poverty make people up that fire and put it in your face. You know what I'm talking about? Poverty make boys pull them triggers. Poverty make boys go get that work and risk their life and kill others in the defense of what they doing. Poverty is a very negative motivator for some people. Poverty can be a very positive motivator for others, to where they sit back and say that they have a purpose and objective that they desire to achieve and that they're going to work diligently and consistently into achieving that objective and don't do those type of things. It all depends on the individual and what that perilous financial situation pushes them to. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't never sit back and I can tell you hey man, if you in the streets, you definitely participate in degeneracy. It's definitely degenerate behavior. But for a lot of them, I know how they can descend into their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It is, but we talking about a group of people who don't even know Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? When I was hustling in the street, I ain't know God. None of my peers knew God. Because if we did, we probably wouldn't have been out there. You know what I'm saying? And we have to always remember that. Like the writer of the Epistle of Hebrews wrote, man, who can have compassion on those who are ignorant and out of the way? You have to remember, a lot of people don't know Yahuwah. They don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have any. See, we're in a different place than them. Yeah, we can sit back and say we have an anchor of hope. That we by two immutable promises that it's impossible for Alahym to lie. We have an anchor for our soul. We can make that bold proclamation of faith that the majority of people can't make. So though I know that these people are out here working all manner of wickedness, you know what I'm talking about? I understand for the most part, they don't know him. So I can understand how life will cause a man to make certain decisions that he deemed necessary to secure his survival. I understand it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't have to agree with it, but I understand it. I know how you got here. The number one thing, if you want to sit back and be able to reach a man, is to try to understand his thought process to how he arrives at the decisions that he makes, and then have the ability to feed him the word of Yahuwah to show him how to save himself. Because I'm telling you right now, if you come across somebody's head talking about this, that, there, and the third, they're not going to listen to you. They are already condemned in their heart. Don't think that these people don't know that what they're doing is evil before Yahuwah. People know. They already know. That's why it's called the good news. That's why he said, I didn't come to destroy souls. I came to save them. That's why these boys know. I done always told them that. You know what I'm talking about? Don't come at these boys talking about no law and hitting them across their head. Give them that good news. Amen. To be able to save souls, man. Because you got to understand, these people in a dark place, you trying to shine light to righteousness. That's why he say, who is he going to cause to understand good tidings? You got to tell him it's a better way, man. It's a better day. It's on the way. Light, bright light, shines, everlasting light. Man, it's a better way for you than the way that you're going. You ain't got to stay in misery and pain no more. You can let them burdens go. You can turn from rebellion to obedience. The man has already did the work. You know what I'm saying? The plan was already in effect. We just got to complete the mission. The plan was already in effect. You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling these brothers, most of these brothers on here already know that because I done told them this for years. You ain't got to come at people like that. These people don't know. These people don't know Yahuwah. You don't know them like that. Share with them some good news that they may consider. Speak a word in due season that a man's heart might rejoice. That maybe he might sit back and say, you know what? It's time for me to save my soul. See, a lot of us, we gotta reprove and rebuke, and it's times for that. But you can't come to somebody with that who already don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna do nothing but harden his heart some more. And maybe it was you who was will for his heart to be hardened. But nevertheless, you gotta have a little bit of wisdom. That's why he say you gotta be at full age to know what to do and when to do it. Sometimes you gotta correct. Sometimes you share with them the good news of faith. You got to know when and how. See, only if somebody of full age can do that. Babies can't do that because babies don't have no discernment. Babies don't have no knowledge of time and season. A baby don't know if it's summertime or wintertime. A baby don't know if it's daytime or nighttime. Don't know the difference. That's no different than a baby trying to administer somebody the word. That's why I say you can't be no novice unless you fall in condemnation of the devil. Being lifted up in your pride, let the Lord be esteemed. Isaiah 28:14. Always something to consider, man. It's soul to be saved, man, and it's technique and skill to doing it. You know what I'm talking about? Most of these brothers know I ain't come at none of these brothers on some, boy, you going to hell with this, that, that, and the third. See, some people say, oh, you see that in the video, and they're thinking, oh, he probably talk to people like that all the. I don't. For what? If I see you one-on-one, I'm not telling you, what I'm going to tell you all that for? Now, if you ask me, I'll tell you that. Man, I had a homeboy years ago. This is my nigga now. You know what I'm talking about? And he knew. And he asked me this question because he wanted to see if I was going to keep it a buck with him. He said, bro, I'm going to hell. I just looked him in his eyes. I said, bro, you already know the answer to that question. I don't know why you asked me that. And he just walked out laughing because he already knew. He wanted to see if I was going to lie to him. I said, bro, you already know the answer to that. What you're doing and what you're not doing. But I ain't here to talk to you about that. The things that accompany salvation, that's what we're going to speak. I want you to save your soul. But guess what? I have to let you know it's the other side of the coin. If you don't want to do that, it's a punishment. It's a recompense. And why would you want to be paid back with fire and worms when you can get peace and life? Makes no sense to me. Nevertheless, Isaiah 28:14. Wherefore hear the word of Yahuwah, you scornful men that rule this people, which in Jerusalem, because you said we made a covenant with death, and with hell we are at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious corner, a sure foundation. He that believes shall not make haste. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's look at foundation. We have Yesod. That's the layer foundation to be founded. Yod, Samak, and Dalet. And you can share with me what you have. Yod, Samak, and Dalet. You know what? While y'all think about Yod, Samak, and Dalet, I just want you to think about this in your mind for a moment. Think about what you may or may not have be doing right now if Yahuwah had not called you into his marvelous light. Just think about that. You ain't got to think about it necessarily in great detail right here at this moment, but think about what direction would your life be going in? What you think you might be doing? Then you might actually turn around and be grateful and stop being selfish and ungrateful and not understanding what you've been presented because you worrying about your creature comforts. That you getting this, that, there, and the third. You're selfish, nigga, you. Because you thought it was about you and the life that you presently now live when it was about giving you a life to live. It wasn't about having somewhere to stay and clothes to put on, cars to drive, trips to take, food to eat. You think it's about the food you ate today? That man told you to come dine of fresh bread that comes straight from heaven. Coriander seed, like a honey wafer. You understand me? Or you thought about with the clothes that you got to go purchase? Instead of that white garment, clean, unsullied by the flesh that he told you to put on? You know that fine linen, which is the righteousness of the saints? Oh, you done forgot about that. Oh, you forgot about that. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. You say grab hold to the sacrifice of Yahushua. Very well, good sir. Gone. You're delusional right now. You're deluded. You're confused. Get yourself together. You're not here with us right now, are you? No, you're not. Girl, cut all that out. You're too old for that. Grab hold to the work of his sacrifice. Very well, sir. I have no disputes with any of that. Now, when we look at laying a foundation, it takes us back to what we were discussing in Hebrews chapter 6. Let's go take a look. Hebrews 6 and 1. Because he said he got to lay a foundation. So we have to look at that in regards to what is that referring to. Therefore, this is Hebrews 6 and 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Mashiach, let us go into perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and faith towards Alahym. So look at that. Yesod and Sean and Civic both had what? Grab hold to the sacrifice of Yahushua, grab hold to the work of his sacrifice. And that is the foundation of repentance from dead works. What are dead works? Well, you know that's in Mark 7. We know what dead works is. That was a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer that out loud. So we know what dead works is. But let's look at something in Romans chapter 6 in regards to talking about dead works while it's on my mind. We can pick it up at verse 15, Romans 6 and 15. Man, I'll tell you right this head, man. I've been serving Yahuwah for so long now that I can't even imagine a life of not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I barely remember stuff now. You know, I can remember certain stuff here and there, but like actually a lot of things vividly, nah. Like I know some niggas, they remember a whole bunch of stuff from prison. I can remember some funny stuff, and there's some funnier stuff that happened that I don't even remember. You know what I'm saying? I barely remember my childhood. I'm talking about teenage years. We had some good times too. I barely remember that. You know what I'm talking about? To the point to where that don't even matter. Like at the end of this time, at this point in time period, like nigga, that junk was like 20 years ago. Literally. Nigga, I've been out of high school for 22 years. That's not 22 years, excuse me, 24 years. I've been out of high school for 24 years. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all just done got to the point of living 24 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember much from high school at all. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even remember much of it. Ain't even much to remember. All they to making me think of that old things pass away. Because the longer I serve Yahuwah, the less I remember. Yes, what would we do for you? What you need? Oh, you're not tired. Huh? No, let her sit. Are you sure? All right, let her sit. Romans 6 and 15. And that's what certain stuff that got to be, certain stuff got to pass away. You can't be holding on to people, places, and things, thoughts, ways, and doings, past all that. That junk got to go away. Because it don't matter. It don't matter at all. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, it don't matter at all. I say I've been at this man now for 13 years. You know what I'm saying? About as long as you go through elementary, middle, and high school. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, Romans 6 and 15. And that ain't long compared to other people. You got people who've been doing it longer than that. Don't you start all that whining. Don't do all that. That's not necessary. What then shall we sin? Because we are not under the law, but under mercy, Alahym forbid. Know you not that to whom you yield your servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey. whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. Alahym be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. Understand, we're talking about the foundation, grabbing hold to the work of his sacrifice. The foundation is understanding that Yahushua sacrificed himself. That's why I say I'm laying a sure foundation. You understand? Let me make sure that sure was in front of that because I could be mistaken. Now it said a foundation, for a foundation, a stone. We know stone is a bin. You know what I'm talking about? And for a bin, you got Aleph, Ba, and Nun. So, you know, the strength of the sun is life, or the sun strengthens you in life. And of course, that's a stone. So, of course, he's strengthening you in life to be that headstone that the builders have rejected. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that last week. I'm going to read verse 17 again because I feel like I didn't finish it. Alahym be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. Understand, let's look at doctrine in Romans, see what it is in Greek. Let's see what we got there for doctrine. I'm gonna let y'all slide up out of here soon. It's almost 11 o'clock. I ain't gonna keep you up all night. When we have doctrine here, of course, we have didac, a teaching, that which is taught. Doctrine, teaching, the art of teaching, instruction. You know what I'm talking about? So what have you been instructed? You've been instructed into the Son. Also, you know that this form of instruction that you believed or was delivered unto you was a reproof and correction that you might be a man of Alahym, might be perfect. Let's continue. Romans 6 and 18. But then being made free from sin, you become the servants of righteousness. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as you've yielded your member servants to uncleanliness and iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your member servants to righteousness unto Kadash. For when you were servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. What fruit had you in those things whereof you are now ashamed? But the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin and become servants to Alahym, you have your fruit unto Kadash and the end everlasting life. The wages of sin is death. The gift of Alahym is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach. Why is that important? Because you have to sit back and look at it, right? You were in agreement with hell, agreement with death. He said, I have to disannul that covenant that you made. Understand that when Eve and Adam sat down from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they made an agreement with death. They were in agreement with that. Let's look at agreement in this Isaiah 28 and see what that means. See, anytime we go to contrary to Yahuwah, we turn around and we're in agreement with it. It said, because reading what it said, with hell, we are at agreement. Agreement in this particular passage is kozeh. Y'all know what kozeh means? Somebody look up kozeh and you tell me what it says. Because it's not going to say what you think it's going to say. Look up kozeh and you tell me what it says. That's the Hebrew word for agreement. In Isaiah 28 and 15, and my memory served me correctly. We haven't discussed this before, but it's been a little while. I also want you to understand, too, some of the things mentioned. I ain't telling you you can't enjoy your life and you can't do X, Y, Z because you know that this man done told you he gave you certain things under the sun and enjoy it. He also told you it's a vanity and vexation of spirit. You know what I'm talking about? But as I've told you for years, always keep things in perspective. Because it's real easy to get drawn off the beaten path, as they say. It's real easy to get focused when you get caught up on what you want to do with your own life versus what you're supposed to be doing to gain life. if you understand what I'm saying. And their civic has the answer for you. It's seer or vision. So what y'all think that means when they say with the seer, you are at agreement? Or with hell or with Sheol, we are at vision or at with seer. This is what he's telling you now. Now, of course, you've made a covenant with Mave, which is death. And with Sheol, you are Kosei. What y'all think about that, man? Talk to me, man. What y'all think about that? Of course, you know the brothers got eternal judgment to deal with. Whether you realized what we discussing, we talking about eternal judgment. We've been talking about it all night. But see, eternal judgment is not necessarily damnation, if you would. It's an eternal decree or execution of that which is right. I'll share with you the Greek word of judgment that is used in Hebrews 6:2. I would hope that some of you gentlemen took the time to research that for yourself. But if you didn't, that's okay also. When you sit back and you look at the word here, it is krima, decrees, judgments, judgment, condemnation of wrong, the decision, which one passes on the faults of another, the sentence of a judge, the punishment which one is sentenced, a condemnatory sentence, a penal judgment, a sentence, a matter to be judicially decided, a lawsuit, a case in court. Avenge, condemn, condemnation, damnation, to go to law, judgment. So I read a passage for y'all in Proverbs 16. I'll share it with you again. Verse 10 is the spot in Proverbs 16. And it is a divine sentence is in the lips of a king, and his mouth transgress not in judgment. Divine sentence, for those who would like to know, is kasim. It is divination, witchcraft, in a good sense, a king's lips as oracles. So in this instance, that divine sentence are the words of Alahym. The words of Alahym are in the lips of a king, and his mouth will not transgress in mishpat, which is the art of deciding a case, which of course you've seen that controversy. Remember, we read Micah 6 talking about he has a controversy. So when you're looking at eternal judgment, you're talking about the ability to decide something. I'm just giving you the elements to add on to what you may have already chosen, or maybe that you might want to sit back and look at and switch up with considering some more context. I'm going to give you some more context in Proverbs 29:4. The king by judgment established the land. He that received gifts overthrow it. So again, your judgment is mishpat. Your established is a mod. If you don't remember what a mod means, that is to take one stand, to stand upright, to take one stand, to stand firm, to maintain, to cause to stand up. So he causes the land to be established by his judgment. That is what a king does. There's many elements to that in Proverbs. It's been in that. It's been a little second since we dealt with some of them, and we'll integrate that in with whatever you brothers got with eternal judgment. By the grace of Alahym, we'll probably start off with what y'all got and weave and work it in to what we're already doing. I want you to come back to Isaiah 28. So y'all get y'all examples in and get them in early. You know what I'm saying? Get them in early, get them in quick. I want you to look at verse 15 one more time in Isaiah 28. I give you a second to get around. I'm finna let y'all slide out here. It's 11 o'clock, man. We're not gonna keep on pushing and pushing. But I'll leave you with some of the words for you to consider. Because you have said we have made a covenant with death, and with hell we are at agreement. Remember, you're in agreement with a seer. You're in agreement with a vision. You're in agreement with the seer of death. Who has power over death but the devil? Well, there's no vision, the people perish. And Satan has his own vision. There's something to consider. Y'all willing, we'll look at it more in depth. With the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not to us. I want you to look at overflowing scourge, that they said this is not going overflowing. Shataf, that is an overflow, which is clearly self-explanatory. You know, scourge is to be beaten. That is shayit, that is a scourge, or figuratively, which is something that you use for rowing. So when you see that over pass through, and of course the overflowing is a thing with water, they think that they have something that allow them to be able to wade through the water, if you will. It shall not come unto us, because we made lies our refuge, and under falsehood we have hid ourselves. Remember what we talked about earlier in Psalms 144. Rid me out of the hand of strange children, who are the right eyes and falsehoods. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Alahym, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone. We talk about stone and foundation, a tried stone. When we look at tried stone, or tried anyway, because you have ben again, you have bohan. Tried is bokan. Testing, tested, tried. Bat, kat, noon. I told you earlier that Yahuwah tries the reins to give you what you earn. You just didn't get something for showing up. So this stone has been tested. You understand? He has went through a trial, which is what we seen happen with Manasseh. That's why we read that, because that was a trial. That's why we read that Psalms 119 about being afflicted. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I kept referencing the Hebrews 5. He learned obedience from the things that he suffered. This stone has been tested. A precious cornerstone, or precious corner. That is panah. Some of you may remember, some of you may not. That's a corner or a ruler. He's been made a ruler, a sure foundation, and he that believe, or he that is a man, shall not make haste, which is to act quickly, or to come quickly, or to hasten quickly. Nobody who believes is going to move at a swift pace. Verse 17, judgment will I also lay to the line. Now we talk about that line. Judgment is mishpat again. What is that line? That's that kav. You understand that? So with that mishpat, he's going to cause you to have a just weight and a just balance, and righteousness to the plummet, to sweep away the refuge of lies, so that the waters can come over the hiding place, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell will not stand. And of course, disannulling in this place is kafar, which you know is to make an atonement or a reconciliation. There's a lot of things with it. And y'all willing, we're going to go through every last bit of it on the morrow. I bless y'all, the house of Alahym, in the name of Yahushua, and say hallelujah for Yahushua and his word. I appreciate y'all time this evening, because you could have been doing a lot of other things, but you decided to slide through here and hear the word of Yahuwah for the deliverance of your soul. So let Yahuwah be esteemed. Give thanks to Yahuwah that he even give you a mind and heart to seek after his word to begin with. Shalom, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep on rolling with it, y'all, with it on tomorrow, and what we're dealing with in Isaiah 28, man. You know, again, brothers, we're going to go ahead and pop off what y'all got for your eternal judgment examples. First quarter, you know what I'm saying? So go ahead, be prepared and be ready. You know what I'm saying? We'll rock those down, roll those out. I appreciate y'all time to see the man. Love y'all. Bless y'all, the house of Alahym, in the name of Yahushua, man. Keep it rolling, keep it popping. You know what I'm saying? I always make sure that you pray for one another. You know what I'm talking about? Pray for all the saints all across the world. You know what I'm talking about? That they can remain steadfast in the faith. Understand, just like what Peter told you, ain't nobody in this earth going through nothing strange. Everybody dealing with the same things. You know what I'm saying? Understand that, shoot, when you see one brother, you see the Lord. When he see you, he ought to see the Lord. It's all the same. Ain't no you without me. That's how that works, man. Because ain't no us without Yahushua. We're absolutely nothing. Vile and wretched beast are we without the living Alahym. That's a fact. That's guaranteed. You know what I'm talking about? But again, bless out the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua, man. Yahuwah willing, man, on tomorrow, man, we make it roll to that time.